that to whatever we spoke to be recorded. And I think the recording has started. Can you see my screen, students? Just reply.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So if we see, yesterday we finished this one. That is binomial distribution, fitting of binomial distribution. Just a second, I'll switch on the slideshow. Yeah. So you can see this we have done. So those who are absent, make sure you are getting the stuff and understand what you have done. Okay. This is also similar to whatever we are doing today. Okay. Yeah. Now write down fitting of a or fitting a Poisson's distribution. Fitting a Poisson's distribution. So you can take down the problem. A skilled typist, a skilled typist on routine work, a skilled typist on routine work kept a record of mistakes. A skilled typist on routine work kept a record of mistakes made per day, made per day during made per day during 300 working days. During 300 working days. A skilled typist on routine work kept a record of mistakes made per day during 300 working days. Okay, so next line you can write mistakes per day will be your x and number of days is your f frequency. So number of days 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 and frequency, that is number of days. 0 is 143, 1 is 90, 2 is 42, 3 is 12, 4 is 9, 5 is 6, sorry 5 is 3 and 6 is 1. Okay. Mistakes per day 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Number of days 143, 90, 42, 12, 9, 3 and 1. So this is the question given to you. So it will be properly mentioned what kind of distribution you need to do. Okay, whether it is Poisson's distribution or a binomial distribution, whatever. Okay, next coming to the solution. It is similar to the binomial distribution again, but the formula only will be different. So anybody remembers Poisson's distribution formula? Yeah. Can anybody tell me what is P of X in Poisson's distribution?
E
Yes.
raised to lambda into
Hmm?
lambda raised to x upon x factorial.
Yes, you are very right. So you can see here. I'll just show it to you. Here, if you see P of X, P of X is equal to e raised to minus lambda into lambda raised to x divided by x factor. You already know this particular formula for P of X for Poisson's distribution. So what we do here is we write it in this particular format in our normal vertical format, that is x 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 and corresponding frequency. We are writing it here. Then we want to find lambda or x bar. Okay, or if you already know that lambda is equal to n into p. N is number of observations and p is the probability of happening. Okay, n into p is equal to your lambda, which is equal to your x bar. So we are finding out the x bar, that is mean. So how to find? We are having summation fx divided by summation f. This is the formula for x bar. So to find x bar, we need summation fx and summation f. So adding all the f's here, we are getting summation f in this place, that is 300. Then in this case, summation fx after multiplying the f into x, that is here in first, if you see 0 into 143 is 0, then 1 into 90 is 1, 42 into 2 84, 12 3s are 36, 9 4s are 36, 3 into 5 15, 6 into 1 is 1. So this is what is fx. Then you add all these things, we are getting summation fx, that is equal to 267. So when we are using these equation, like these values of 300 and 267 in the x bar formula, are getting 267 divided by 300, which is equal to 0.89. So this is your lambda. This is your lambda n into p. So there what we did, using this n, we calculated the value of p. But no need to calculate here because there is no p in the formula. Okay, to be substituted. Here we need lambda, we need e. You already know e we can find out using our calculators directly. And x is already given. X is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 corresponding we will take as x. Okay, this is lambda. We will write it again here is equal to the lambda. Okay, this is equal to lambda. So what we do, we substitute these values. Okay, e raised to minus 0.89, e raised to minus 0.89 into lambda raised to x. Lambda is 0.89. Here first I'm having 0 as x.
So
So
your
I'm
voice is
yeah, I couldn't get you. There was a lot of disturbance while you were speaking. Yeah, who was that?
so
Can you
actually
repeat?
your voice was not clear.
Okay, now is it okay? I think it's Harshal, right?
Yes, sir. Now it
Yeah.
is.
Now is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
fine.
Yes.
So
Now it is
till where
clear.
did you hear, or till what part you could understand? So I'll start from there. So did you get x bar? Yeah, Harshal.
Yes, sir.
So now
Yes, sir.
substituting. Okay, I'll start from there. Substituting this particular lambda, value of lambda is 0.89 in the equation here. E raised to minus lambda, that is minus 0.89 into 0.89 raised to 0. As we are having x is equal to 0 in 1. Okay, divided by 0 factorial. We are getting this value. So similarly, substituting the value of x is equal to 1. Rest all will be same. Okay, e raised to minus 0.89 into 0.89 raised to 1 divided by 1 factorial. We are getting this value 0.365. Then at the end, I told you we need to multiply this with n. Okay, what is n? N is equal to summation f. This summation f is equal to n. This is n. N is equal to summation f. Otherwise, remember, capital N is equal to summation f. For this, if you see, this is small n. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So small n is equal to 7 and capital N is equal to summation f. It is equal to 300. So we are multiplying whatever the value we are getting here with 300 and we are getting a particular value. So we need to round it off. Okay. Then at the end, when you add all these values, rounded off values, it should come to 300 only. So that is the what you call means of knowing whether it is right or wrong. Okay, because rounding off you need to do it accordingly. So here usually if it is 0.5 and above, you take it to the next number. If it is less than 0.5, okay, take it to the before number, and you can add and see, not an issue, it will be very nearby, but when you add it should be 300 only. Okay, so any doubts here what we did? Yeah, students, any doubts?
No, sir.
No, right? So try doing it now. I'll remove all that whatever is being written. Okay, now you can try and solve it. You know the question, you know the equation as well. I've just explained you the procedure. So make sure you are doing it. Okay, I'll give you 5 minutes, not more than that, to do it. So here I have written for all the places this particular equation. If you are okay, if you can understand without writing this, well and good. For first you can write. Okay, then later on directly you can calculate for rest. Here for understanding of yours I am writing for each. Okay, here p of x. So make sure if you don't understand you write it, otherwise not an issue, write one, then you'll understand what we have done. Then it is the last one, we are multiplying it with n into p of x. So do it and check whether you are getting the same values or not. If you are having any doubts, you are not understanding, you could unmute and ask me. Quick students, make it quick. Anyone completed?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, nice. Can I move ahead? So if you have not completed it, take a screenshot, or I'll check. I'll upload this later. Okay. So take a screenshot if you want it now. If you have not completed, just to find out whether you have calculated right or not. Okay. Next problem. We'll move to the next one. So next problem, write down a systematic sample of 100 pages was taken. A systematic sample of 100 pages was taken from the concise Oxford Dictionary. A systematic sample of 100 pages was taken from the concise Oxford Dictionary, and the observed frequency distribution, and the observed frequency distribution, of foreign words per page was found to be as follows. Okay. Next line you can write number of foreign words per page. Again 0 to 6, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Next line frequency. Yep. For 0 it is 48. For 1, 27. For 2 it is 12. 3 it is 7. 4 it is 4. 5 it is 1. And 6 it is 1. Okay. Next line after this. Calculate the expected frequencies. Calculate the expected frequencies using Poisson's distribution. Calculate the expected frequencies using Poisson's distribution. Okay, just repeat the data. Number of foreign words per page 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Frequency 48, 27, 12, 7, 4, 1, and 1. So start calculating. So what is the procedure? Remember, so we need to find x bar. So for that it is formula x bar is equal to summation fx divided by summation f. We are getting x bar, so that we need to take it as lambda. Then substitute this lambda in the equation, that is f of x is equal to e raised to minus lambda into lambda raised to x divided by x factorial. Find all the values of f of x for x is equal to 0 to 6. Then multiply it with capital N. That is capital N is summation f. And keep. And that ends your problem. So do it fast. So as and when you calculate summation f or summation fx, just let me know. Okay, what is x? Oh, sorry, summation f, summation fx, x bar, and lambda.
So summation of 100.
Summation f is 100. Yes, you're right.
Summation fx is 99.
Yes, summation f is 99. Correct.
99.
Yeah, correct. It's right. So divide both. Summation f divided by summation fx. We'll get the value of x bar or lambda.
0.99.
Yes, 0.99. I can check here. 0.99. Now calculate p of x for x is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. What is the value of p of x is equal to 1? Sorry, 0.
0.371.
Yeah, 0.371. So usually take it for,
1.5.
yeah, 1 5. Take it for 4 digits. Okay, after the decimal point. For 1, and is calculated for 1. X is equal to 1.
0.3678.
Yes, correct. So if you have calculated the other ones also, please go on. For 3 it is, sorry, for 2. For 2 it is, for x is equal to 2. So students, while using the calculator, e raised to minus 0.99 is constant. Okay, for all it is there. So don't press AC. Okay, so you can use the arrows, right arrow and the left arrow to coordinate there, and you have to just change the values of x. Okay, because even lambda is also constant, e is constant. E raised to minus 0.99 into 0.99 raised to, we need to only change x is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and divided by x bar. Again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So use the right arrow and the left arrow to coordinate, okay, to go to that particular place and just change those numbers, okay, for x. So that will be very easy and it will be time saving. Otherwise what happens, every time if you go on typing this, you lose a lot of time. So what is the value of p of 3, p3, or p of 3 is equal to
18, 18.2.
18.4,
2.
0.1820 I think. 0, 1, 2, 3. For 3 it is 0.0600. So just check you are getting the same values or no. The answers are on the screen. Okay, anyone completed the whole sum?
Yes, sir.
Okay, others faster. Give 1 more minute. I think it's Akanksha who told this. So are the answers matching, Akanksha?
Yes, sir, but the points little bit here and there.
Okay, but if you add all n into p of x, you are getting summation x.
Yes, I'm getting 99.9.
99.9. So that 0.01 you change somewhere later on.
Yes, I like first digit I took only three, first three numbers, not four.
Okay, for that it might have happened.
Yes,
Just
sir.
because you multiply it with n, we need 4 digits.
Yes, sir. So, but if like this answer come, it's okay, right?
No, it's okay, but don't put it there. N is equal to at the end, add and that is for you to understand whether you are right or wrong, or any place while multiplying you have gone wrong or anything.
Okay, sir.
So others, then
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
okay, good. So those who have not done, please take a screenshot of this. Okay. So I'm moving to the next problem. Okay, I was talking about the question paper problem. Question paper in the sense you got the papers, right? 2 papers. So from that, this particular problem. Okay. So I'll just read out the problem, note it down. The number of defects, the number of defects, the number of defects per unit in a sample, the number of defects per unit in a sample of 330 units. The number of defects per unit in a sample of 330 units of manufactured product was given below. Was given below. Let's stop. Fit a Poisson's distribution. Fit a Poisson's distribution to the data. Fit a Poisson distribution to the data. So in bracket they have given e raised to minus 0.439. E raised to minus 0.439 is equal to 0.6447. 0.6447. And in the tabular column, first one, number of defects 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Next line, number of units. For 0 it is 214, for 1 it is 92, for 2 it is 20, for 3 it is 3, for 4 it is 1. So they have asked this particular thing for 10 marks. Here you can see 10 marks. So if you are quick enough, you can do this in 5 to 7 minutes max. So you're getting 10 marks basically. So again, what do we need to do? Find the x bar using summation fx divided by summation f. So to find that, find summation f, summation fx, then find out x bar. X bar is equal to lambda. Substitute in the equation. P of x is equal to e raised to minus lambda into lambda raised to x divided by x factorial. And after finding the values of all the x, then multiply this with capital N, that is summation f. So this one I have not calculated. I want the answers from you. So first summation f. If you have calculated, please let me know. I'll write it here.
330.
3
330.
330.
Okay.
330.
Yeah. Then summation fx
145.
145. Others please check. Just don't
140.
blind, yeah, just don't blindly copy. You also calculate. Then we have x bar, which is also equal to lambda
Sir, it's 0.43.
Which one? Lambda?
Sir, lambda.
0.43.
Divide this. I have not calculated that.
0.43.
Okay, everyone is getting 0.43. That means it should be correct. 0.43. Then you can tell me the answers later on. N into P of X later on. So 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm having N into P of X. So as and when you calculate, please let me know the value so that I'll mention the values here. So anybody calculated N into P of X for X is equal to 0? Yes, students, fast. So first you had calculated summation of fx lambda. Why you are taking so much of time here? What is n into p of x for x is equal to 0?
So 507.29.
507. It's too
So
much.
I'm not sure.
So if you add everything, no, it should be equal to n. Capital N. What is capital N? Is
So 330, sir.
yeah.
330.
This is 330.
Sir, Captain.
How is it possible? When you add all, no,
Yes, it is 330.
you're adding
So the
330.
total is 330.
So total you should get 330, Baba. That is right. But I want the value of the n into p of x for x is equal to 0.
So it is 212.75. First one.
Just a second. I'll do that off. Then wait, right. So it is
212.75.
212.75. Okay, second
So
one.
then is 93.39.
Okay, 93.39. Okay, next
Then is 20.49.
20.49.
Then is 3.003.
Okay, 3.003. Okay,
So then is 0.297.
0.297. Okay, so if you see here, if you convert it, okay, it is almost equal to, it is 75. So you can make it 213. Okay, rounding off to 213. Next, it is less than 0.5, so it will make it 93. Okay, 93. Then this is 0.49, very near to 0.5, so I can make it 21. So this will be 3. 3.003 is rounding off to 3. Then 0.297 would be 0. Okay, so at the end, if you add, we will be getting 330. Don't write it here, but you should get 330. Okay, any doubts here? Understood? Everyone got it?
Yes, sir.
Yes? No doubts, right?
No, sir. NP.
Yeah.
No, sir.
If you have any doubts, anyone, so clear it now only. Later on, don't get confused or anything. Okay. So I'll erase everything now.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
First one, sir. I can't get this 213, sir.
213, this one.
Yes, sir.
So what is P of x? P of x is equal to e raised to minus lambda, right? Is equal to e raised to, what is lambda? We are getting 0.43. So minus 0.43 into 0.43. Because into lambda we are having, lambda raised to x. So it is 0.43 raised to 0 for this one. E raised to x is there, 0 whole divided by 0 factorial. So if you calculate this, we will get 212.75. Okay, so 75 is greater than 0.5, right? 7.7 is greater than 0.5. So we are rounding it off to 213. That's all. So the next number we are taking. That's all. Okay. The same thing here. Next one, it is 0.39. Okay, it is less than 0.5. 0.39 is less than 0.5, right? So we are taking it back. That is 93. Okay, got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So for how much marks is it?
10 marks. Over. You can see it here on the written. This is there for 10 marks. One of the easiest sums. So if you get it, you are lucky. Okay, you can finish it in 5 minutes. Okay, done with this. Shall we move ahead?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we are done with the portion of business statistics. So coming back to the second semester again now. So we are dealing with operations research. So I'm teaching you operations research. Course code you can see here 20 MBA 24. 20 MBA 24. So 20 is your scheme. MBA is what you are doing. Okay, the PG course. Then 2 is your second semester and 4 is your fourth subject. That is 20 MBA 24. So minus fourth subject in your second semester. Okay, this is operations research. Then okay, don't worry about all those things. You already know CIE marks is 40, SE is 60, exam duration at the end is 3 hours for 100 marks, and it is scaled down to 60 marks. So your internals plus externals will give you 100 marks. So this all is there. Okay. So coming to module 1. So I'll just give an overview of what you are learning. Okay, module 1. So it is basic only theory, like definition, then scope of operations research, characteristics, advantages and limitations, quantitative approach to decision making models, and etc. Okay, that is what we are learning in module 1. This basic theory of what is operations research, where you are learning characteristics, then advantages, limitations. Then module 2, your actual module will start from module 2, where you are having problems. Okay, we call this as LPP actually. Your linear programming is given. Linear programming problems we call LPP. Okay, so in general we call it as linear programming. So if we are solving problems, we add problems there, LPP. So structure of linear programming model, assumptions, advantages, limitations, general mathematical model, guidelines for formulation of linear programming model, formulations of problems, and using graphical method. So here graphs are being used. Okay, so again, you know, linear line in the sense it's a straight line. Okay, y is equal to mx plus c. No need to repeat, you already know it. So using those equations, we are solving these LPP problems. So what actually is there is, so there are different parameters. Okay, I'll give an example. Like in a particular field, a particular farmer has to put certain fertilizers. For example, urea and nitrate. Example I'm giving, urea and nitrate. So these two things he has to put. So he's having two choices. Okay, so in one he is getting a certain quantity of urea and certain quantity of nitrate. Okay, and the price is given to you. Then in the second one, again there's a different company. Its composition is different. Again the components are the same, but composition is different. Amount is different, and the price also is different. Now you have to tell the farmer. So whether you have to buy A, B, or combination of A and B, where he is getting the required amount of fertilizers in lesser quantity. Sorry, lesser amount, at a lesser amount. So this is an example where we can say, so do two different products, combinations in different quantities. But for me, I know, like for example, 2000 kgs of urea is required, and around 3000 kgs of nitrate is required. So this is my end thing that I need to put it in my farm, okay, or my land where I am basically growing. So different options are given to you. We need to tell whether we need to use a combination of both, or we have to go with A, or we have to go with B. Okay, that is what we are basically doing. So here it is LPP, again two types, maximize and minimize. So here we are minimizing the cost. Okay, similarly when it comes to sales, we are maximizing the sales over there. So there could be two channels. If I sell here at this particular quantity, okay, and I'll be selling these many numbers. Here in different channel, I'll be selling these many quantity and this particular price. So again, what do we want? We want maximum profit, right? We want to sell our products at maximum profits. So you are having two deals. So which one to take? Or we'll be having combination of both to get maximum profits out of it. So we are having two scenarios, max Z and min Z. So when we are solving it, we will get to know what is it. So at times we need to maximize our sales to get maximum profits, okay, or minimize our spending. Okay, so just two examples I gave you for linear programming. Next is transportation problem. So what is transportation problem? Transportation problem, if you see here, so you are a manufacturer who is having multiple godowns, okay, and you are selling your products, or you are transporting your product from your different godowns to different markets. So here we need to find which is the path, or from which godown I need to sell to which market, so that my transportation cost is reduced or bring it to minimum. So there are different methods to do that. So that is being seen in transportation problem. Okay, so different godowns, different markets I need to transport. Like for example, I'm having ABC as my godown, and I'm having market XYZ. So if I send from A to X, or A to Y, or A to Z, whichever which will be less, A to X, A to Y, A to Z, or some to some to X and some to Y. So again, we should tell completely we have to sell from send from one godown to one market, or we have to mix it from one godown and selling to one or two or even all the markets. Okay, so that we are finding out, so that we are minimizing the transportation cost. So those are transportation problems. Next comes decision theory. Okay, so you can see here decision under uncertainty. So there are different things. Risk is there. So we have to take risk or no, we have to minimize it. Okay, how much can we minimize? So whether should I take that particular risk or not? Okay, uncertainty, risk. So those things are there. To solve that, we are having maximin and minimax method. So there are five different methods. So they are given only two for you, that is maximin and minimax. So decision under risk, expected value, simple decision tree. There is something called as decision tree. So we'll see when we are going there. Okay, efficiency problems, only theory is there. So not a, so, so here there is something in the previous problem you can see here. There is something called as Modi method, modified differentiation method we call. So again only theory is there. Okay, so we'll do it, not an issue. When problems earlier problems were there, we have solved problems as well. So for you only theory is given, not an issue. Fine. Then theory of games. Okay, so here we are learning like 2-person game, zero sum game. Okay, 2 into n game, m into 2 games. So all these things are there. So you may not understand much here. So again here we are having strategies, mixed strategies, graphical and algebraic methods. Both are there. Okay, then we are having simulation, process of simulation, types of simulation. Okay, then steps in simulation, Monte Carlo simulation. So here most of theory is there. Then simulation applications in inventory, queuing, finance problems, advantages and disadvantages. So more of theory is there here. And the last one, the last module is project management. So here we are having two terms. One is PERT and CPM. You can see here PERT, PERT and CPM. So we are having it's an acronym basically. PERT, PERT, Project Evaluation and Review Technique is PERT, PERT, Project Evaluation and Review Technique. And CPM, what is CPM? Critical Path Method. CPM, Critical Path Method. Here we need to draw network. Okay, so you can see here network, components and precedence. Okay, so we need to draw a network, then find out so which method to take. So here it is project management. It is as it is said. Okay, so we are basically calculating the number of days required to complete a project. So if it is increasing, what will happen? If it is decreasing, what will happen? What is the path I need to make sure that I need to complete it within that particular time duration, which I have already set. So projects, I think you know there is time duration, right? In every project, they say you need to finish this project in 2 months, 3 months, 1 year, 1.5 years. So here different operations are there. So it is not like only one. For example, you want to build a house. Okay, there are so many things that are involved. You need to get sand, you need to get cement, you need to get the people basically. Then you need to get steel, okay, or iron, whatever. Then after constructing a base, what do you call it? A base structure, then you need doors, you need windows. Okay, then you need all the fittings like path fittings, all those things. Then we need the electricians, electrical connections and all. So these are various things that are there in building a house. So as a project manager, you need to know which all work will take me how much amount of time, how many people I need to invest, how much is the budget given to me, so how much I need to allocate where. So all these things come under the project management. Okay, just as an example I give you. So you can take like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H works need to be done to finish this particular project. So what is the time duration, maximum time duration I need to complete this? Okay, so it's not the maximum time duration, it is the optimum time duration. Okay, so if you don't use that much amount of time, it is the probability of completing is very less. Okay, again in this we are finding out the probability of completing the work or not completing the work, completing more number of days, like 4 days, 5 days, or 4 weeks, 5 weeks more than the intended time, and all these things are there. So again, normal distribution we are using, normal distribution tables and all, Z tables you already know. So we are finding out what is the probability of completing the work exactly on that particular day, like we are taking more number of time, or is there any probability of me completing that same work in the less number of days. So those things we are learning in project management. Okay, I hope it is clear what all we are looking into in operations research. Okay, so from the next class, okay, we'll start with the portions. So make sure you are not forgetting the statistics as well, because the exams are not yet over. Okay, so the exams are there. So if you just concentrate on the next semesters, it will not work for you, because you need to write exam for first semester subjects. So keep in touch with those as well as learn this properly. and whatever we are teaching you, it will be uploaded, and we'll be sending you the link so that if you get some issues or you are not understanding, so you can go back and check on those particular things. Or if you, and very much important thing is don't miss any classes. Okay, so it may so happen that the way I'll be explaining you may not understand, or you might get some difficulties or questions. If you are there in the class, you can ask me. Okay, or it will take more time basically. So it will be uploaded, no doubt. But going through it slowly, then understanding it, pause it, then play. So you might take double the amount of time in which you are learning. So don't do that. So ask your other friends as well, those who are not present, to attend. Okay. So again, statistics. If you miss one class, it will be continuation in the next class. So you may not understand, or you may try to understand, but because you are not present in the previous class, it could be difficult for you. So make sure you are attending this particular operations research class. Okay. And one more important thing, please put your attendance as and when we send the link. Okay, those are present, don't forget to put the attendance. You'll get to know why and all. Okay, so later on. So any doubts here, students?
No, sir.
No, right? Fine. So we'll end our class for today, and in the next class we'll start with the operations research. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay, students.
Thank you,
Bye.
sir.
Take care.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you,
Bye,
sir.
sir.
Yeah.